America, a country where freedom was every man's birthright, where a man answered to his conscience, not a royal oath. But over the years, we've traded away that freedom, one war and one government promise at a time. This is the Destroyercon show. If you felt that loss, if you noticed that the country is changing into something more controlled and bitter, then you already know why we're here. If you like what we say, please subscribe and share the show. Let's return to a nation conceived in liberty. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Destroyercon show. This is your host, Liam Childers, aka Destroyercon, and my good friend, Mr. Keller, over here. Welcome back to the show where we destroy the mainstream consensus. We have a pretty good schedule of different stories to talk about today. As always, as it seems in modern politics, there's so much going on. And I really have a story I want to talk about later about this recent Harvard youth poll, kind of talk about a bunch of different stuff, but I kind of want to save that for the end. So let's get right into it with this story about Pete Hegseth. There's like 3 different stories about him right now, right? So, like, there's this rumor going around that he might get kicked out of the administration because of 2 scandals. The one, of course, earlier in the year with the Signal chat, and it suggested now that he might have risked endangering U.S. troops in that action. And then the other one is this, which I think is really the bigger deal, is this big story about how the U.S. used double tap strikes in a Venezuelan boat attack where they destroyed the boat, right? And the survivors from the boat had gotten onto it again. And even though the boat was completely disarmed, again, these people have not been tried, and we don't actually know who they are. We don't even know what's on the boat, is what basically is consensus from all information. Some people I know in the government as well seem to say that. I mean, it just seems like nobody knows what's going on here. And then what's crazy is that even though this boat was completely disabled, they struck it again to kill the survivors. So I think that this is really kind of a just crazy situation. I mean, how what do you think about that, Keller?
I mean, didn't Trump say that we need to just kill them all? I think there's some kind of quote about that, and so I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
It seems that I'm saying that an awful lot. I'm just not surprised.
Yeah, there's one source characterized that Hegseth's directive was the order was to kill everybody.
Exactly. Well, I mean, he was just following orders, so.
I mean, that's basically the same situation. It seems like he had this other story, at the beginning of the year with the Yemen strikes. It's just been like the real thing is that Hegseth has all these stories about basically just massive incompetency. Like no one really knows what's going on. His leadership's kind of questionable. It's just kind of a mess. I mean, I guess this is kind of what's expected from a guy who is a former Fox News host who was in the army, I guess, but was not any super high rank being
I've
appointed.
never heard this guy on Fox News.
You don't remember that? He was on Fox and Friends, I think. But that's
I honestly never heard of this dude.
In the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I never heard of this dude outside of being named.
But I knew he was on Fox News because that was the thing when they appointed him was he was on Fox News.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's his qualification is that he's on Fox News.
Exactly.
I mean, this is the thing that we've come to expect from the Trump administration. I think it also feeds into the whole situation with Cash Patel. Did you see that story where Cash Patel was there and he was talking about, and it was Dan Bongino, and he was talking about Cash Patel, and they're like, I get up at 7:30 into the office every single day, and Cash is there before me. He never leaves his office. And it's like, bro, what are you guys even talking about here? Like, first off, like there are a lot of people that work pretty hard, but like in reality, like it doesn't matter how much you're working if the work you're doing is absolute garbage. Like, what are you trying to say here? We're spending so much time being the most incompetent FBI in American history. Like, our intelligence service is just all over the place. And did you see the story about how Cash Patel? Oh, this was beautiful. He he had it was when Charlie Kirk got shot, right? And
Mhm.
um before he got off the plane, they had lost his FBI jacket. And so he would like delayed like everything to get his jacket because he wanted to look cool for the Charlie Kirk press conference. And then they brought him the wrong jacket and he made them wait even longer for them to get the right one.
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Well,
That actually happened. Like, what are we dealing with anymore? Like, that's insane.
he's
Oh,
probably in the office, ordering Ubers for like his girlfriends, his
yeah,
Israeli
his
honeypot
Israeli
girlfriend.
girlfriend. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is so
he's
all
ordering
over the place,
Ubers.
dude.
Yeah, he's
So
busy in the
all over the
office
place.
ordering Ubers for like her drunk friends. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that. Is that what he's doing?
So there's a report that Patel, at least on two different circumstances, had ordered like using American tax dollars, the
Yeah,
FBI security that's protecting the detail that protects his girlfriend, the Jewish, the Israeli honeypot.
yeah.
It's, yeah, it's basically
Who will
escort
sue
one of
you
her.
if you say
Yeah,
that?
exactly. To basically, he ordered an Uber using the FBI and using the FBI security to like escort one of her like intoxicated friends after some kind of like party in Nashville.
Bro,
Oh,
bro, bro.
I don't know if it's the same place twice or that's just like one of the occasions, but yeah, he was like ordering.
This is
This
like
is
Cash
American taxpayer
Patel.
money. Yeah,
This is
if
like
somebody's getting axed, it's definitely gonna be Cash Patel.
there's no
Oh,
way he stays.
I
I
should I
mean,
should
like
bet I should bet some Kalshi money
I mean
on
honestly, I mean
who's
this
gonna
is
leave the
not a
administration.
this is not a paid advertisement. We are not
We're
endorsing
not sponsored
gambling,
by Kalshi.
but
Not
but but if we were actually since we're not, I don't know. I think he's gonna get fired. I really I don't know if I bet it's before this year, but it seems like I mean it's just the fact it's so close to Christmas is why I
this
probably
is
wouldn't put money on it. But like
this is not financial advice, but you
no,
should put all of your money into on
whether
trading
Cash
with
Patel is gonna get
Kalshi on
fired.
who's going to be leaving the Trump administration. Cash Patel. Oh,
It's gonna be Cash. There's no way. I think Hegseth will too. I think Hegseth is gonna take a little longer. I think
I think he's
Hegseth
too
for some
good. I
reason,
think
yeah,
he's too good for propaganda.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is Hegseth kind of served like a propaganda role, so like he
Yeah,
does okay with that, even though otherwise he's like,
it's that macho American kind
yeah,
of like
yeah, exactly. He
I
doesn't
don't think
have to be. I mean, we're at the point in American history that the military just always loses anyways, so he doesn't have to be good at his job.
exactly.
So like, what are we even talking about? I mean, this is just such a crazy story for the both of them though, because it's like, did we really expect this to work? I mean, did we really expect this to work? Of course it didn't work. Like Cash Patel, I remember when they appointed Cash Patel, I was like, who the heck is this guy?
Hey, if he does get axed, Cash Patel, I'll see you in Valhalla. All right, I'll see you there.
We're all gonna meet him there. It's gonna
Right.
happen, bro. The fact that think about the fact that that is the conference. I think that's the one that he had to get his jacket for.
I
Think
think that
about that. Think about
FBI
that.
jacket.
Yeah, I think
See,
his FBI jacket. Made everybody wait to get his FBI jacket so he can tell everybody that he's gonna see Charlie Kirk in Valhalla.
didn't
That's
he like?
real. That's American politics in
Wasn't there
2025.
a lot of like incompetence in investigating Charlie Kirk's death with the
Oh yeah, I
FBI?
mean that's the whole thing. Like that's why half of
Yeah.
America thinks like not even half of America, half of conservative moms think Israel was killed by was killed or Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel. Like it's it's Candace Owens, Speaking of which, that's a whole story. Like, this is like what happens when you get back from Thanksgiving, right? Is that you miss the week because the holidays, and then you forget all the stories that you have to talk about because they're too ridiculous and retarded. Like, that is
Exactly.
basically what we're at now. I like the one where, and this is like the reason that like half of conservative moms think Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel is single handedly because of Candace Owens. I really don't know. I mean, like, I think Candace Owens is a little crazy, but I think overall she seems pretty decent. But like, I think she's funny. I think she's really funny. That's the main thing. I just think she's funny. But for some
Exactly.
reason, she's like crack for these like conservative moms. Like a lot of people listen to her, and they get into like their tea circles, and they all talk about it.
The sewing
And
circles.
yeah, yeah, and so I like this story. And the fact is, I mean, after Charlie Kirk has died, it seems like it is plausible. This one where somebody is paid like $1 million or something like that to kill Candace Owens. Like, did you hear about how she made that announcement?
No, I don't think
Keller, you
so.
didn't hear about this? Oh my gosh, Keller. Let me just tell you. I think she's. I can't remember. It's either. I think it's the French. I think it's
Okay.
because of the Brigitte Macron stuff. But she's somehow found some kind of data that someone has wired like $1.5 million to basically hire a hitman to kill her. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. I
okay,
remember now. Yeah,
this is
on Twitter,
yeah, yeah. So
she thinks Israel's trying to kill her.
is
Yeah.
that what it is? The Israel? I thought it was the French. I can't keep track of
It's
that kind of
someone.
story. Someone's trying to
Someone
kill her
within
though.
someone's trying to kill her. She also made claims some time ago, months before even Charlie Kirk was killed, if I remember correctly, that there was going to be something going on that would be like another 9/11 attack style
Wow.
attack, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and I don't know, we're getting kind of close with that. It's not necessarily off topic, but there's been a lot of weird news articles because of incidents where we're like now arresting Afghan
Yeah,
nationals. I
I've
mean, the
seen that. That
problem
is
at
weird. There's a lot of weird stuff like on
it's
all
it
these
happened.
Afghan nationals.
Yeah, it happened right after the shooting. Was it at Arlington?
Yeah,
Trump
yeah,
was giving, I want to say, a Veterans Day speech, Memorial Day,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and
I
that
heard talk
Afghan
about
national
that.
who was like a radicalized like CIA asset or something like that. If I
Hmm.
remember, I can't remember the exact details. He had something to do. He had connections to the CIA,
Yeah.
and he got like radicalized and then shot that National Guard.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
And then right after that, a couple weeks later, now we got somebody getting arrested by might have been the FBI or just local police, of an Afghan national threatening to bomb some
Yeah, and
place or hurt people.
they just arrested that guy they're saying is the January 6th pipe bomber too.
Exactly.
They're,
And then on top of that, there's been several border control arrests of illegal Afghans in the
yeah.
United States too,
Yeah.
all of a sudden. And
Yeah.
that's what caused
I
the
can see it,
that
dude.
thing that came out with the national security where we're
I
like
keep
ending
saying
visas for
it
Afghanistan.
feels so much like George Bush. It feels so much like George Bush right now. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
It feels like we are literally living in like 2004 to 2008 all over again.
Well,
Where
it's good that I get to relive it because I was only like 7 at the time,
yeah.
so
So if you want to
wasn't
have a
really
real
aware.
radicalizing experience, um I think it's going to be hard to say that they're not going to start like I could see it. I really could see it. I mean, that's the thing is that you can see it. It's just a sad reality that you can see all of this coming, and I think that's going to be the disillusionment. I think there is a possibility that they are stupid enough to think that would get things back together, and I think if they did it, it's not going to ever work. But I don't know. I think it's pretty questionable.
it's all being weird. She might be kind of right. I think maybe in the wrong area. Like
Yeah,
I don't know about 9/11 still attack, but there's a new ramping of propaganda
yeah,
against Afghanistan for some reason, even though we haven't heard them in the news in for like forever.
yeah. I mean, they're trying to. I mean, they've talked about trying to get back in there and to fight the Taliban. They want one of the bases back.
Why? What are they doing?
I think
What are they doing that recalls us to?
it's because of this stupid posturing towards China. I think they thought that now that they don't have the base anymore, they actually can't put any pressure on China in Western China. But like, you have one base in Afghanistan. That's gonna change things. How? Like, okay, but they want Bagram back. They want Bagram. That's the one that they've tried to talk to the Taliban about it. Man, if they get us back into Afghanistan, dude, I just think like, I
Then if
just
we
think,
really be the Bush era.
I just think like there is a level. I mean, it's going to be terrible, but there is a level where there is room for optimism. There's a lot of room for optimism, and I think there is a level where this could all change. Um, my thought on this is that um, kind of talking about what I was talking about earlier, this Harvard poll. Well, I'll get into that now since that kind of was a good transition. Um, so basically, what I saw in it was basically that it's all about youth voters in America and talks about like how skeptical they are about like what's going on in American politics right now and everything. Basically, they have this sort of idea of like the way that things are being run right now, and it's not very positive. They say that Democrats hold an advantage for 2026, but the reality is that the Democrats aren't gaining in popularity, and the Republicans aren't either.
Mhm.
Um, Independents tend to agree more with Republicans in describing the Democratic Party as primarily negative, about 60%, as opposed to Democrats that even say 50% of their own party. That's pretty crazy that Democrats have about a 50% negative approval rating of their own party. Uh,
Now,
Republicans aren't doing much better.
is that technically because of the Gen Z left is becoming more leftist,
I think
socialist,
so. I
whatever?
think that's true,
Okay.
but I don't think the Gen Z left is growing. What they're saying is that both parties are losing. So in some ways,
Okay.
it's like the most radical of the Gen Z left is being kind of isolated, while most of Gen Z is becoming more independent overall. Um,
Mm.
and it's kind of the same picture for the Republicans. I mean, the independents have a uh, 58% negative approval rating of the Democrats and a 58.9% negative approval rating of Republicans. But what I found most interesting in this article was this part about uh, socialism in America and their support of economic systems. So in 2018, 43% of young Americans supported capitalism, 39% supported socialism, 31 supported 39% supported democratic socialism, 31% supported regular socialism. And then it rose for um, capitalism and democratic socialism both in 2020. But now for every category, it has lowered. So now it's 39% in support of uh, capitalism, 29% in support of socialism. So socialism's actually experienced democratic socialism, and 21% in support of socialism broadly. So socialism, democratic socialism in particular, has taken the biggest hit out of all these categories, surprisingly, despite how people talk about capitalism today. Um, it seems like the the reality is that it's not even a matter that young Americans don't support capitalism. It's the fact that they don't really support anything and they don't like what's going on right now. And I think there's a problem, right? Is that in reality, America is already a democratically socialist country, like fundamentally. So the decline in the statistics, right, of capitalism is correlating to the decline in the statistics of democratic socialism, because fundamentally it seems like they're almost the same system. Um, I think also this is this shows that there's actually a lot of fertile ground for libertarians right now, and we just need to seize it. Like, this is the time to really seize this opportunity, because all the bubbles are showing it's discontent with the entire status quo. It's the discontent with the regime. It's discontent with the establishment. The youth are becoming very anti-establishmentarian, um, and it's not funneling into socialism or democratic socialism, unlike what mainstream media narratives are trying to tell people. What it actually seems like is that they just don't like what's going on now, and what's going on now in their minds is what capitalism is. But they don't like the idea of more government control. So they need a path that is neither, aka the libertarian. So I think that the way you get the young people is that you have to like really create this sort of um, revisionist. We have to go through the history in a Rothbardian manner and basically try to overcome the historical hurdles of like how people present capitalism in America, and basically demonstrate that that modern America is socialist, and basically take the word back, or just disassociate from the word entirely and like present a fourth branch. But I think that it seems like we are coming to a real inflection point, and this continues to feed into what I've been saying in the past, is that the youth is going to play a really big important factor in whoever's going to win coming up in the future.
Whoa,
Well,
whoa, 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 whoa. You sound too much like Brylan Hollyham. We have to stop you right there.
oh man, but it's in the opposite of how Brylan intends it. That's the thing about
Correct.
Brylan,
Yeah.
is that Brylan thinks that the youth is gonna somehow magically, because he was gonna wave his little fairy wand around.
Carry on.
Yeah, he's gonna wave his fairy wand around, and then suddenly Gen Z will become
Conservative,
neoconserv
libertarian.
yeah, neoconservatives.
And well, it's all about voting. It's all about voting, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to register. If we just get enough people to register to vote Republican, we're gonna win. We're gonna be so back.
Yeah, no,
You're gonna get tired
that's
of
not
doing.
how I see it at all. I see it
Yeah,
more like
yeah. Just
we're,
vote harder, bro.
what I'm seeing is it's more like it seems like the both the Republican and the Democratic Party are almost like what's happened in the UK are about to collapse. Like, and maybe it's not in the sense of like they lose as a party, but like whatever the establishment that currently exists in the party is going to be completely erased. I mean, Trump already kind of undercut the entire Republican establishment, right? Like, they already
Exactly.
lost once, right? The only thing that's keeping them around is that Trump needed them because he thought he needed them for some kind of political advantage. Now he's too tied up with them and he can't get rid of them. And I don't think he even knows he needs to get rid of them, because I don't. I think he's an old man, and I think old men. I had a recent article in the American Conservative about Xi Jinping, and I talked about this too. Old men obviously are very hesitant to make like reactionary, like to make decisions that would be considered to be aggressive or radical. Um, and I think Trump, he's always been boisterous, and I think he'll say what he thinks, but I actually don't think he'll pull the trigger on a lot of things he says. And I think that's true for like a lot of people. I mean, like, it's not that surprising, especially when like you don't actually really know what you're doing, and Trump is somebody who doesn't really know what he's doing. So it's just such an odd situation. But I think that what he's done is he's basically eroded the neoconservatives who were already dead after Obama. So there's no Republican establishment anymore. Like the Reagan establishment is completely gone. So there's this weird Trump establishment, but I think the Trump establishment is like built is completely built on a house of cards, right? Like they're so incompetent. Like they're not going to be able to get whoever they want to be the next nominee. They're going to collapse under their own weight. And I think Peter Thiel might be able to try to weasel Vance in there, but as we've talked about before, there's just so much popular problems. Um, I just think that we're gonna get to 2028, and it's gonna be such a interesting election because the youth are gonna play such a big role, and it's probably gonna be on the primary level where whoever the candidates the youth like are gonna be the candidates that win. Um, and it's gonna be the candidates that are popular on the internet. So it won't really be the youth. It'll be like kind of like Gen X and younger voters will kind of like hover towards certain candidates, and I think those candidates will be the ones who end up becoming the nominees. And it'll be basically who can run the loop on Joe Rogan and appeal to these voters and really provide a path that's an alternative to the modern American socialism. And I think we can get in at some point into how America is socialist, but um, I think that it is just kind of showing that nobody trusts the state, and it seems like what Americans have been presented to by their public school systems for the longest time is that the only way is through state control. So, what do you think about that, Keller?
I think you're absolutely right. Um, we're gonna see some interesting things come out 2028, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is a really interesting poll, though, especially the fact that it seems like socialism and democratic socialism are continuing to decline. Uh, and even those moderate support for Democrats is increasing, support for socialism is actually decreasing. And same, so I think it just kind of shows that, um, that like socialism's not actually popular in America. I mean, it's popular amongst a certain sector of the Democratic base, but
In the moderates don't even like them.
it's not even it's not even popular amongst like Gen Z. Like people frame Gen Z as this socialist generation. I know Nick Fuentes has tried to bring his audience towards socialism, and I'm hearing a lot of reactionary murmurs. These people who support the tariffs and everything. I mean, like they're just closeted socialist. I think that like this idea that you're gonna fix American jobs without actually taking care of the national debt or inflation or fixing the Federal Reserve issues is like just pissing in the wind. Like we're gonna impose a tariff on China, and sure we'll get 100,000 steelworker jobs, but it's gonna cost the American people more than like it would just to finance it otherwise. So the costs still outweigh the benefits to the average American. So like what are we even talking about here? Like you're making the average American's life worse to preserve a small amount of jobs for a small amount of people, especially when again, the reason jobs are going overseas is because of inflation that has made our wages way too livable. We not livable, but way too high. Like what I'm trying to like they're inflated. I mean, that's the only way to say it. I mean, like the average American is making I think $75,000 right now, but they feel like they're worse than they've ever been. Like so sure they're making more dollars, but they're not actually making more value. There's not more actual capital there. Because
Exactly. Yeah.
they're not creating new capital.
People
Tariff
don't understand purchasing power.
No, they don't, and it's such a repetitive argument. You have to repeat it to these people over and over and over again. But we're at a point where um the that all of our jobs have gone overseas because we've inflated the money to a level that it is so much cheaper for them to go over there and bring it here. It doesn't even make sense for it to be that way if you just think about it on a natural level. It should just be cheaper for you to make it here and export it out of here. But we've made it so expensive that it's not. And I mean, certain industries sure should be that way, but like if you're not going to fix inflation, we've printed, I think, 1/3 in the last decade of all the money ever. Like, we're talking about insane amount of inflation. The reason that Americans can't live isn't because the jobs have gone to China. I mean, the jobs were going to China in the early 2000s, and still we were doing moderately okay before 2008, which, of course, the recession was the cause of government manipulating the interest rates. Dr. Mark Thornton, one of my top G's, my former advisor, his book, The Skyscraper Curse, goes really into that if you're interested in reading it. But yeah, it's just so crazy because the Republicans and the Democrats are leaning into socialism, but the irony is that socialism is getting less popular. People aren't identifying as capitalists, but that doesn't mean socialism is increasing in value. I think it's just the fact that people don't support anything. Like, they just hate the government, and they think that, and rightly so, because capitalism is so heavily regulated by government policy. They think that the big businesses are screwing them, and so something has to be done about them, but they don't know what that even is. So,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are in that they don't like the socialists, but they perceive as what currently is capitalism. They're not a big fan of that because of the government influence. So it really is just a lot of people like just not liking the government, which I
yeah.
guess is a step in the right
Which is,
direction.
yes, exactly. This is what I keep saying is that, like,
Yeah.
if we can take control of this movement, like, if we can get to the youth, because these trends that are happening with our generation are, we're like the most amplified, but it's happening with every generation. Like, even the boomers are kind of going through this right now. It's just way later than everybody else. Like, it's this way with the Israel situation. Like, even the boomers are like, who've been kind of on the periphery now that the hostages have all been returned and the Israelis are still killing people. They're starting to wake up to it. Like, it's like it's the same thing basically. It's like this wave of discontent that was already festering under Trump and really already festering as of 2008 has never been truly utilized. It needs to be utilized in a revisionist, so we need to revise the history. Basically demonstrate that since FDR, America, well, since before FDR, I mean, Woodrow Wilson was largely responsible for this, and so was Abraham Lincoln, but at least since FDR, as a key point, and we need to go back even further, abolish the Federal Reserve, but to really demonstrate the point, I think FDR is stronger of a case than anybody. To show like this is socialism. We've been under socialism. We basically in World War II became a socialist country. I mean, at one point during the war, America had 90% taxes, and ever since we've had some of the highest taxes ever experienced by the American populace. I mean, surely they were lowered, but it's a ratchet effect. It's like in Crisis and Leviathan. Leviathan, aka the government, will always increase its size during times of crisis, and through the ratchet effect, even when it increases in size, because government gets these new powers. Sure, there might be an undercurrent. You might get like an Eisenhower who tries to somewhat cut some of it, but they never cut enough, and they never cut a lot either. They really kind of leave it on the periphery. I think Eisenhower, in some ways, was failed by a number of different issues, but so I have a little bit of sympathy for him. But regardless, I mean, his warning when he left office about the military-industrial complex again shows that. But regardless, I just think it's so interesting how like we continue to live through the ratchet, and we're at the point that we're at the most excessive ratchet. Where after the terror wars, we expand the government so far, so far. I mean, like we're being monitored. They're completely in control of the economy. They decide the interest rate. They decide how much the money's worth. They decide pretty much everything at this point. And the only people that get rich are the people around their little area. I mean, before the terror wars, the wealthiest towns in America were around Silicon Valley. After the terror wars, where we are now, it's all around Washington, D.C. It's just a reality that a lot of people have made a lot of money by manipulating the economy to be a war machine. And the American people have paid the price for that. And everybody seems to be waking up to that. So whoever can get that, whoever can really show that they want to destroy that, whatever this monstrosity is going to be who wins in 2028. And I think JD Vance is, by definition, just by being associated with Peter Thiel, not that guy. I think that like his association with the military-industrial complex, the Palantir, all of that is just ridiculous, and that like there's really the only politician I can think of is Massey. I mean, I don't know if it will be Massey, but Polymarket, I think he's like number 3 now on like potential political candidates. He's still at like 1 or 2%. So if you wanna if you want more Cauchy advice,
Which is not financial
if
advice.
it's not financial advice, it's just meme advice.
Me, yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Thomas Massey has some potential. I really think like if you were to get it while you're at 1% and he ends up winning because he's Ron Paul 2.0, I think you'd probably get some pretty good chunk of change. But
Well, is his tenure is getting up, right?
yeah, he's got a primary coming up next year. That's like every House member has a 2-year term.
Yeah.
So yeah, so his primary's up next year. They're putting. I mean, Marion Adelson put in like $2 million or something like that against him.
Crap ton of money, yeah.
Crap ton of money against him.
So okay,
but
so
you know what happened is that what happened was that on Polymarket, after they put the money in, his increases, and after they announced the candidate that Trump endorsed against him, his chances actually increased of winning. I think
really?
I think he's gonna crush him.
Yeah,
Especially after the Epstein story. I mean, I think that people are like, "Oh, I don't know Thomas Massey," but like, people who know Thomas Massey love him. Like, this is the reality. He has a cult following. It's only a matter of America getting to know him. I think that's the thing, is that his track record is great. He's an outsider with political experience, which is what the American people need. Someone who can navigate the regime while having a proven track record of being an outsider. So, I mean, you can be an outsider when you're outside the regime. It's very easy to be an outsider when you're outside the regime.
Yeah.
It takes some actual balls to like fight the regime when you're in it. And so I mean, I think that's even the case of like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think the fire got too hot for her. I think that she wanted to do good things, and she did good things, and she got her big thing done, and she was like, "I'm just done." But I really do. It just seems like everything keeps pointing in the direction that whoever is going to harness that anti-establishmentarian energy is going to win the American election in 2028. I just keep repeating myself. I feel like I keep repeating myself because I really want to harp in on this point, but but like I've been talking about this, I think pretty much every single week. I really do feel it. It just seems like every single warning sign is pointing this way, and it's actually very in some ways heartwarming, because it seems like the American people more than ever might get somebody who actually could do something. We might actually get a populist libertarianism, and that's what we need. A populist libertarianism would rip through the establishment of this country like nothing else.
Very true. Very true.
Like if we can harness what Trump had, because like what Trump had, right, was essentially populist libertarianism, but he just had no sense of how to harness it or what to do with it, or like his entire profile just he brought in all the conservatives too, and the conservatives need to really just start to realize that you're not conservative if you support the expansion of the state. If you support what we have now, you are conserving the progressive beast, and you have to destroy that. I mean, like there's no other argument. Like we're at the end of Obama. We're post Obama. We have to rip up literally like things were bad when Reagan left office. Like he didn't do enough. Like, and if that was the case back then, think about how much we have to go back to undo this Leviathan. But oh my gosh. Is there anything you want to say, Keller? I'm sorry, I took up a lot of time there.
You hopped on that soapbox.
Yeah, no, you know,
No, I completely agree with you though. I would like to see Massey run for president.
I think he's gonna
I
do
think a
it.
lot of good would come from that. But he has, so he'll be up for a re-election next year,
Yeah.
and then he has 2 years after that, and he
But,
can't run anymore. He can't run for congressman anymore
no, that's not how it
after that.
works.
Oh, he keeps running. Okay,
Yeah,
I haven't taken an
term
American
limits.
politics class in
They don't have term limits.
in several years.
Yeah,
So,
they don't
okay.
have term limits.
So, but he might just not continue running as a congressman and actually run for
Yeah,
president
that's
in
what I
2028.
imagine. That's what I
Okay,
imagine he'll probably do. Yeah,
interesting.
unless Mitch McConnell retires, he might run for senator and then run for
Or
president.
he might die. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, how modern American politics is going, that's probably more of a likely reality. Ugh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, but you know, everybody loves a martyr. I mean, like, think about it. We are Charlie Kirk now, so it's only a matter of time until
Are we gonna sing that after the show? Is that
we
we're
are
in the show?
Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame. We fight for the gospel. That song, dude. The fact that it's the fact that the AI for it too is like
It's so
so
good.
obvious. It's so
It's
obvious.
so obvious, but it's so good.
It's
It's
so
really good. It
It's
we're
so
gonna have to end our show when we end our show
yeah,
now from now on. We're gonna end up
yeah.
the We Are Cooper song
You know what? I will do that. Just because we said it for this episode, instead of doing like any outro music, I'm gonna just make it "We Are Charlie Kirk."
and have it fade into the background.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see it when it comes out on Tuesday. I'm not Tuesday, Monday. I will do that. Oh man. All right, let's get into some of this international affairs. So I looked at some stuff for Ukraine, but like not a lot's going on there right now. I mean, they're going through this peacemaking process. So there's the peace deal, and everything keeps going which way. The Russians are still drone striking Ukraine. But in reality, it's kind of I think we talked about the peace deal last episode. It's the same process. They haven't really done anything. Um, it seems like it's kind of like the peace deals of the past, where it's just kind of stalling everything again, and trying to convince the Europeans and the Ukrainians that they're not going to win the war. But the Europeans and the Ukrainians are too stubborn to admit that, and they're not going to give up. And I think that what the only way that they're going to finally admit that they can't win the war is by Trump finally just saying we're not going to support you anymore. Because I mean
Yeah.
that's why there's even a like even a discussion here. Once the American supply dries up, which it's already drying up, Ukraine's already losing more land in the last like month than it's lost all war. Like we're at the end point. I mean, like the if they don't get a peace now, the options aren't taking back Crimea or some crap like that. The options are essentially we're either going to give up what we've already lost or we're going to give up more. And that's really it. So I don't know why they continue to be so stubborn on this. I don't know what the Europeans plan to prove. Actually, I do know what the Europeans plan to prove. They plan to prove that the European Union is not completely useless. And the reality is that it is. They want to use this as a justification, probably to create a European army, which is what nobody has wanted ever for the longest time. Because everybody knows that they create a European army, they're going to try to remove the autonomy of the European member states, which they already tried to do all the time. But they're going to try to do it through force in places like Hungary, Slovakia, etc. Um, so, but they want to make it. I mean, this is Ursula von der Leyen's talked about it. Like these people and they want to show that A, the European Union has a use, which it doesn't, and B, that they need a European army, which they don't. And I just think they're so dumb though. Like I think that every single flashing warning sign is going against them, and they're just going to collapse in on themselves. I mean, like it seems like that's just a complete disaster. I mean, the especially like the most popular person in Europe right now in terms of politics is like not popular in like I guess not popular in terms of politics, popular in these like neoliberal circles is the current president of Germany, this Merz guy who is running not the most popular party in Germany, despite it being like the oldest. Um, but he he's the most popular, but even then, it's like I think he has like a 30% approval rating. So like we're talking about a house of cards here. It's going to implode. I mean, like eventually Germany's going to have AFD win. Britain's going to have the Brexiteers win. All of it. It's all going to really come over. But I think there's going to be a big wave over there. It's been overdue over there for a while, and I'm surprised. I've really been surprised that they've been able to get away with suppressing it this long,
Yeah,
especially with the migration and everything. But yeah, I mean, but that's the only reason they have to exist right now is because of the Ukraine war. That's why they can't give it up. And I mean, of course, Zelensky, the only reason he has to exist is because of the Ukraine war. He's gonna. I mean, he's got this situation with his like second in command basically being exposed as like for like massive corruption charges. He's gonna have to like leave the country once the war's over. So like this is all he's got. Um, so that's a disaster. I mean, there's not much that can be said there. That's a disaster. And the only again, Trump thinks he can make a peace deal between the two sides. The only peace deal he's going to get between the two sides is by basically pulling money from the Europeans.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the reality there. That's the
Well, on the
reality there.
other side, of Europe,
Yeah.
have you seen this? There's a new happenings down in Ireland.
Oh, what's going on in
Uh,
Ireland?
so there's maybe not necessarily a new IRA, but
Yeah.
there's a new group called the New Republican Movement, and they just released a video. Um, I think it's like it's a little bit opposite of what's been going on with what happened with the last one as the IRA and then became more progressive leftist, silliness there. They're they actually released a statement saying to the people of Newry, Morden Down, which is in Ireland, we, the New Republican Movement, have watched our councillors and MLAs over the past 12 months. The level of disrespect shown to the people who put you into power. This cannot be ignored any longer. We are proud men of Ireland. We are patriots. Your policies and decision making with regards to flooding our communities with undocumented military age men is not acceptable. So it looks like the IRA is back and it's better than ever.
Well, but
And
this is in Ireland, right? This is not in Northern Ireland.
um well, it depends on what cities a new. I don't know Irish geographics
Oh, well,
too
now
much.
I see this video where this
Yeah.
looks ridiculous. This looks ridiculous. And there's
No, it's in
Northern
Northern Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. The main
it,
thing right now is that the Unionists and
well,
the IRA are kind of making peace with each other. because
That was another segue. Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah,
well, look, the orange men, the green men
yeah, they're getting
are
along
coming.
now.
They're getting the band back together to rage against the spread of Islam
Yeah,
and the whole of Ireland.
this is the
You know?
case across the entire European continent. It seems like, especially with the governments continue to fail. France seems like it's on the verge of it. Spain seems like it's on the verge of it. Britain is
Northern
objectively on the verge of it. Northern
Ireland is
Ireland, Ireland probably is actually less so than other places. Ireland is. Northern Ireland probably not as much because Northern Ireland's been ruled for the longest time by the Ulstermen, and the
mhm,
Ulstermen are like have always been really conservative. I think now that the Catholics have gotten in power, it might be worse. But
yeah.
I mean, like the Ulstermen didn't even allow gay marriage until like 2020. Like they were like until the British government made them overturn it. Like the
Yeah.
Ulstermen are pretty they're they're
They're pretty
Calvinists, but they're pretty hard nosed Calvinist.
yeah. Yeah. So we have the Northern and Southern Ireland banding together against Islam,
Yeah.
and then we have the the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church band together for unity. We're getting all the bands back together. It's really interesting
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
what's going on, you know? Oh,
It's just such an odd time to be alive. I mean, it really is. Um, I don't even know, dude. Europe is so all over the place right now. I don't even know how you fix it. I mean, they've allowed so many immigrants in. I mean, you just have to. They've gotten to the place where their really only option is to just get rid of them all.
you got to teach the
And this
Europeans
is
how to make
well, this is
you got
like
you
this is the problem of like the deportations is that like the immigration and the people being there and everything else, it's all just state policy. Like the
Sure.
reason they're there is because of the state. The reason that they're migrating is because of the state. Now the only solution for them being there, the state creates crisis to justify itself. And this is
Yes.
one of those said crises where they've created this crisis, and now that they have to create another state apparatus to justify their existence. The sad reality is that yes, we need these people gone, but it's like how do we get them gone? I don't know if it's
What we
gonna
gotta
be
do,
whatever the
we
Trump
got
administration
the
does,
solution
but
is
we'll
pretty
see.
simple. The solution is pretty simple though. You gotta teach the Europeans how to make doner kebab, and once they know how to make it, there's no reason for any Middle Eastern immigrants anymore.
So true.
That's like their whole staple. That's like the whole thing in Germany and in Britain. Like they're like we can't get rid of the immigrants. They make such good doner kebab. It's like a real thing.
I
Like
know. I've
it's like a
heard this
whole
argument.
culture
Yeah, I've heard this
surrounding it,
argument. I've heard this
and
argument,
it's like, okay, it's not that
which
hard.
which
We'll teach you. I'll go over there.
which
I'll go over
makes
there
me
and I'll
want to
teach you
get,
how to do it.
which does
But
make me want to get some kebab. You made me hungry now,
real,
Keller. Now you made me hungry. But either way, I mean,
that's the only
that's
solution.
that is it is. I mean, I think there are market ways to get rid of a lot of the immigrants, especially the ones in Europe. I mean, like most
The
people
market
don't
way
think
is teaching
so.
them how to make their
Yeah,
own
yeah.
kebab.
Make sure you get rid of the industry. I mean, this or
Order
like
the
I mean,
market.
like they don't need to all go. I mean, like we can keep a few of the kebab
The
places.
pretty ones can stay.
The
What was it? What was that? I think it was
pretty ones and the ones
The
that make the
Polish MP
best
said that.
kebabs.
Well, no. It was what was his face in from Brazil? Bolsonaro. That's what he said.
Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro. Oh my gosh.
That's I think it was either Bolsonaro or some kind of Polish MP, so we can keep the pretty migrants, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I mean that's understandable. I think like yeah, or the really talented ones. I just think that like the problem is that it's not like these people have come here naturally. That's the main
Sure.
issue is that we've let all these people in, and it's been directly driven by the government. We even just saw this report released where they're talking about how the Biden administration directly did move refugees to the United States as matter of public policy in order to try to sway like political voting. So it just continues down the path. It's just all kind of the same thing over and over again. And immigration has been directly a state policy. So I mean, sure, I don't want aggression towards people, but it is true that the reason that they are doing this is because of the state policy that's been associated with them. It's just
Yeah,
awful. Um, so let's get on to this story about this Israeli-backed gang leader killed in Gaza. Have you heard about this one?
I did see a little bit about it. I didn't see too much about it on Twitter, which is interesting.
Yeah. So what was exposed is that this guy Yasser Abu Shabab. So you know the story essentially about how the Palestinians have been raiding the aid trucks that they say is like the reason that they can't put food into Gaza, right?
Yep. Hmm.
So so what they continue to leave out is the fact that um the Israelis have been arming and supporting the gang leaders who commit these attacks. And this guy, Yasser Abu Shabab, is leader of one of the bigger Gaza clans that was killed near Rafah. He runs a group known as the Popular Forces, and it's the largest of these Israeli backed militias under the watch of the IDF. So it seems like they're saying that he was killed by his own people. I guess probably because um I guess it's because of just like all sorts of political infighting in the region and everything because of what's going on. But his gang is still one of the main and most influential stakeholders behind the looting in Gaza. Um, so this is such an interesting story because you've heard the story about the aid trucks and everything. But
Yeah.
this was a story that was exposed like last year when they one of the opposition leaders, defense minister Avigdor Lieberman, and basically exposed that Benjamin Netanyahu was supporting gangs in southern Gaza. Um, um, and this is after Netanyahu has spoken favorably about these Israeli-backed gangs, calling them that there are Palestinians inside of Gaza who are currently fighting Hamas. They say enough of the tyranny and terror. They want to be masters of their own destiny, and I think we should give them a chance. Well,
There's so much contradiction here.
I know, and the fact is as well, this guy, Abu Shabab and his senior commander, both have connections to ISIS. So they are supporting ISIS-connected terrorists against Hamas to essentially get rid of Hamas, and they're gonna, I guess, put these guys in
And
power and do the same thing. And these
they
people
fight.
are the ones who are
Yeah.
raiding the we know they're the ones who are raiding the aid trucks.
Yeah.
And but poor Shabab said he's not taking food, tent, or supplies for children, even though they're taking the trucks. So I guess the food is just supposed to walk there itself.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Okay, so Popular Front fights Hamas.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they fight Hamas by raiding the food trucks that's supposed to go to Palestinian
Yeah.
citizens.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
paid for. This is all backed by Israel.
Yeah,
And
especially since
and
the
the
Israelis
idea.
have been
And the
backing
idea.
both. The Israelis have been backing both sides. Like, what are we even talking about here?
And while they're doing that, while this Israeli-backed militia is raiding aid trucks, Israel is saying, "Well, we've been sending food aid trucks,"
Yeah, but
and
they keep
the
getting
Gazans
raided.
They keep, yeah, they keep stopping at the aid. They say that Hamas is stopping the aid from getting to Gazans.
It's too insane. I mean, that really is one of the craziest
Oh, this
stories.
hurts my head. This hurts my head.
It
It just
hurts
makes
my
me
head. It
angry.
just makes you angry. There's not much that can be said for it otherwise. It is one of the most insane stories. And that's why I wanted to show this article because just going through this, like going through the process of what's going on here, because this is like the part of like the Israeli war that nobody like. It's even so deep that like unless you're on like antiwar.com, which if you don't read antiwar.com, you need to read Dave DeCamp and antiwar.com. That's
Shout
like
out to Scott Horton.
yeah, I mean, and especially Dave DeCamp. I love Scott, but I've really been getting into Dave DeCamp lately. I like. I don't. I mean, I don't know. He just does really. He just does a really professional job with it, and I love it. But yeah. It's just been such an interesting set of events, and that entire story. I mean, how else can you feel about it besides angry? Um, And I guess this is kind of jumping back a little bit, but this kind of goes, I guess, more into Venezuela. Did you hear this story about Hegseth ousting the admiral of U.S. Southern Command because the admiral raised concerns about his boat strikes?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So the head of Southern Command uh, raised concerns about the bow strikes by saying he had murky legal authority for the bombing campaign. Uh, and I mean, I think it is clearly illegal under U.S. law. But let's see. And then like Hegseth basically, he also said that Hegseth was um, not happy with Halsey for resisting plans to reclaim the Panama Canal. I
Oh,
mean,
this is okay. Okay.
I mean, what else can you say to that besides okay? I mean, oh my gosh. So we're just gonna invade Panama. Um, and I gave some good comments about him resigning, but the fact is that he was just 1 year into a 3 year term as head of a combatant command, and it's very highly unusual for somebody to retire from those roles. So it seems like he was forced out by Hegseth.
It does seem that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think this just goes back into the fact that they're probably preparing for. I mean, I think that those are the things that they're saying because they can say that there's opposition to. There's probably a lot more than just those two things. I think I think they're preparing for a war. I think at least they're going to do some kind of strikes. I really do think they're going to do some kind of strikes.
Within Venezuela,
Yeah, within Venezuela, I think they're going to strike them.
Maduro, yeah, he's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been largely cooperative. Like he even had a phone call with Trump not too long ago.
It's crazy. He's still around, yeah.
Yeah, he's still allowing the he's still allowing the deportations to continue. I mean, I feel like this is all to me it is that they want to overthrow Maduro. They're like they might be saying there's some kind of narco reason for it, but it really does just seem like this is all targeted at Maduro and its little Marco's war. Like little Marco is got into the State Department, and now he just because he has to appeal to his South Florida, Venezuelan and Cuban voters, he's gonna go rough and tumble with a Latin American socialist. It's just such nonsense. It's just such nonsense. I mean, this was always the worst pick of the administration, and it's more insidious than Hegseth and Patel. Like Hegseth and Patel, I mean, honestly, they're just incompetent. Like, there's a level where incompetency can even be a good thing sometimes because they don't actually do anything. I mean, Hegseth is incompetent in the wrong way. Really, if you could switch the two of them, it'd probably be better. If Cash Patel was in control of the Department of Defense. And because he was in control of the Department of Defense, the Department of Defense did nothing because Cash Patel can't do anything. That would be a good situation. And if Hegseth was incompetent in the sense that he was running the FBI and he was doing all these things, but all the things he was doing was like retarded, like, why are you doing this kind of investigations? At least, at least he'd be doing something. But it's just such a bad. It's just so bad. It's so bad what's going on right now with both of these situations, and I think really it just shows level of incompetence. But either way, the incompetence aside, Rubio is a snake. Like, he's not incompetent. He is very, very politically articulate and very, very smart. I've thought this of him for a long time. But he's just, his policy's terrible. I mean, his foreign policy is nightmarish. He's a neocon. Like, I mean, as far as you can get, and like without being like Richard Pearl or like David Worms or one of these types. He is, I think, very much a war hawk. When he was appointed to the State Department, I was very worried that we would get into some kind of future conflict, and it seems like, especially since he's also the national security advisor while being head of the State Department, he's just way into control of this entire government. And I think Hegseth not being confident at all probably means he's in control of a lot of the military aspects, and the fact that Cash Patel is not competent at all probably means he's in control of a lot of the national security aspects. Like, I think he is in control of a lot of the current administration. I mean, it's like Dick Cheney almost, and it's kind of funny because it's like Vance like pushes back a little bit every once in a while, but Vance is just a pushover. I mean, like, you can't do anything to him. Like, and Trump, I don't even think understands that Rubio is doing all this, but Rubio really is, in a lot of ways, it feels like the president right now.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting stuff.
yeah, it's so tragic. I mean, especially if we get into this war with Venezuela. I mean, they've moved more stuff over that way and
Mhm.
everything. But I guess I'll end it before we get too far with my last kind of pet issue, which is this story about Trump's national security strategy softening its language on China. And this also might be Marco Rubio's doing as well. Um, Except this is probably one of the only good things about the neocons is that they were never very aggressive towards China. But it was because of all the wrong reasons. It's because they were distracted too much in the Middle East. but
Yeah.
so what's been happening is that the White House has been seeming to like maintain its kind of firm stance against, like, if China presses against Taiwan. But they're no longer going with this narrative that China is America's main competitor, where they're trying to like lead the door open where it's like we can be partners again. And I think that's actually a really good strategy. It's probably the only really good strategy going on in American foreign policy right now is this kind of rapprochement we're taking towards the Chinese, because fundamentally we need to get a deal with them on trade. Um, we need to repeal the tariffs. Really, we need a free market between them and us. And what we need to do is, I mean, he's not going to do it. I mean, none of this is going to happen. That's the sad reality. We need something that's close to that, but that they need to find a way to bring the cheap goods in while creating American jobs. The only way to do that is by cutting inflation. So until that happens, it's going to be rough. But at the very least, cheap trade with China will actually reduce a lot of the pain. We've already seen this with the tariffs. If people are still complaining about the economy, in fact, they're complaining about the economy more than they were before. Nobody likes the tariffs, and the tariffs are not working. If you think they're working because a factory opened up in Illinois or something like that, you're just an idiot. Like you're not. You're missing the forest for the tree. Like, you're looking at this one tree and this one factory, and you're missing the suffering that's caused across the entire American economy. I mean, like, for all numbers of different goods. And these conservatives will be like, well, the children just shouldn't get the toys for Christmas if you can't afford them. And it's like, do you know why you're not popular? Like, if you can't see why you're not popular, like, 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 just, it's mind numbing how they don't understand why they're not popular. Like, they think because they beat Biden, who's also not popular, they can just kind of do whatever they want to. But they're not popular. Nobody agrees with them. It's like, did you see that statement by the transportation secretary talking about the airlines?
No, I was not aware of this.
Oh, this was such a crazy statement where the let me pull it up. He was basically saying that the reason um, that the reason that um, we that airlines are getting worse is because we don't have enough stability in travel. Um, and so what he required people to do is that, like, the golden age of travel starts with you, and like, talk about, like, manners don't stop at the gate, and what you need to do is everybody just needs to dress better on the flights, and
Oh, oh
that will
yeah.
make flying better.
You made it sound a lot more interesting.
No, no, but it
Yeah,
is
I saw
interesting.
that.
It is
I
interesting.
guess
Think
in that
about
in
it,
that way, yeah.
because
Because I have thoughts on that. Yeah, for sure.
it's so demeaning. It's so demeaning. Um,
Exactly. Like okay, the whole reason I'm gonna have to interrupt you because I saw that article and I
yeah,
keep seeing people share this.
yeah.
I
Go
saw
through it. Go
and they're
through it.
like, yeah, you need to start wearing like some pants with a belt loop and a collared shirt. And I'm like, dude, first of all, you had the what time you get there is ridiculous, especially in the mornings. And you have to like make sure you get there in time for the beat traffic to get to the airport. If you're parking there, you gotta find a parking space. So you have to cut corners first of all. You have to cut corners on getting like nice and dressed. Like who wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning and decides to put on a okay, besides the one person that I know.
Yeah, yeah,
The one person that besides the one person that I know, who's gonna get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to drive 2 hours to the airport, 1.5, 2 hours to the airport, to then get on the and to get to the airport to be like molested by the TSA. Like you don't want to wear like tight-fitting pants or even properly fitted pants and a t-shirt because they're molesting you. So like just wear the baggy shorts and you don't want I mean, you don't have to take off shoes anymore as is what I've heard.
yeah. You don't
But
have to do
when
that
there
anymore.
was you don't want to take off something you don't want to take some of those laces because they're trying to rush you too at the same time. So it's like put on some slippers so you can easily take them off and show that you can't hide anything in it. Get the little pat down. It's easy to wear in more baggy, loose fitting clothes anyway.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting on a plane for like what? Maybe what 2 to 6 hours, maybe? I don't know. I've never been on a plane. I'm expecting at least depending on how long your flight
Yeah,
is, at minimum like 2 hours.
there's some that are faster, but yeah, largely.
And you're sitting in a seat. The seats are too small, unless you upgrade the business or first class. And so you're just trying to be as comfortable as possible.
Well, especially the fact that he's saying this when airline crashes because of his department are
Exactly.
occurring more than ever.
This
Like,
doesn't help. Yeah, this doesn't
this
help
does
his
not
case.
help his case when we are in the most regulated state of airline transportation ever, and you're the secretary. You're the one who's supposed to run this all, and because it's all too overregulated. And your answer is, "Oh, I don't know. Sure, planes might be falling out of the sky. Sure, literally no flight is on time anymore. Sure, is everything getting more expensive? Sure, do you no longer get a free bag on your flight anymore? But the real problem is the people flying. The real problem is you. The real problem isn't me not doing my job, or better yet, because this is, I think, the mistake that people make. It's not a matter of him doing his job. It's the matter that his job exists to begin with. Like, I was watching Tim Dillon, and Tim Dillon was talking about this. He's like, well, you're not doing your job, and things are getting worse or whatever. It's like, no, 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 no. You're missing the point. The point is that his job should not exist. The airlines should be able to determine on their own safety procedures. Does that
Yep.
mean airlines are going to fall out of the sky? Most likely not. In fact, we've seen in like places like the Middle East and like these nice like Middle Eastern airlines and like a lot of other places where it's not nearly as heavily regulated, the only thing that increases is the standard. I mean, that's the reality. Is that American flights, American transportation is so terrible, so overpriced, so everything, and a lot of it has to do with our Department of Transportation. So he's just it's just and the conservatives, like, not the conservatives that we care about, like the people,
The boomers.
not even the boomers. It's like the
Not
John
even
Doyle types. It's like John Doyle and those kind of people, where they are
oh,
conservative.
manosphere.
Huh?
Manosphere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They're like all metrosexuals who think that they have like a real opinion about things because they dress better than you. Like that's really who these people are.
Yeah.
So,
If you show up on your plane wearing a flat cap, I'm just gonna assault you.
well, don't say that because I got a nice new flat cap from my grandma from Scotland.
And I
That
see you on the plane with it.
we'll say.
I don't mind you wearing it. If you're on the plane with it, I will beat
Well,
you up.
well.
I will bully you.
I mean, what if I'm still wearing sweatpants and a tie dye though?
Oh, well, there might be an exception because I'm
Yeah, yeah,
wearing pants.
exactly. Then you're just chilling. You're not trying to like look fancy or anything.
That is
You're
true.
just being
I'll
chiller.
give you that one.
You're
I'll
just
give
being
you that
chiller.
one.
You're just being chiller.
Yeah.
It's
No, what
it's
he
nice
should
and
have
warm.
said, what he should have said, well, though, is that we need to go back to being able to smoke on the planes.
So true.
You know,
So true. We're gonna get rid of the
the
regulations.
planes didn't fall out of the sky. The planes didn't fall out of the sky when you had room to like move around the plane. You can
Mhm.
light up a smoke. You know, you can hit your vape.
Mhm.
That used to be
And you
living in a
didn't. And
prop.
Grandma didn't have to get molested going through transportation.
Well, I guess that too, but the smoking though.
The smoking.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, it's completely retarded, and
And it's
it's
just
just
amazing to me that like he can make this argument when to me it just seems like what he's saying here is that his job has no reason to exist.
exactly.
like 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 his how are we gonna fix what's going on with airlines right now? I don't know. Why don't you just dress better?
That'll fix it.
That'll fix
Just
it.
gotta dress better.
Yeah, like my
Well, if I
gosh.
dress better, would I dress better? Would the TSA agents not molest me as much?
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. I mean that too.
Is maybe that's what he's trying to say. I'm gonna give him be a little charitable here.
Yeah,
Maybe he
yeah.
says if we just
Abu Zubaydah didn't wear a three-piece
depends on
suit.
what we wear reflects on how the TSA whether or not they molest
Yeah,
us or not.
yeah,
I think
exactly,
that's what he was trying to say.
exactly. As you make the point, Abu Zubaydah and Bin Laden didn't wear a three-piece suit.
Exactly.
I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah. I just thought that was just an extra little piece of incompetence. It's just this administration has really gotten to the point where it is no longer representative of the people. It is just talking down to the people, and that is why they're going to lose. I mean, that's
An
it.
actual wise
I mean, like,
man was the big
it's
thought
not
of it.
even like, and like, this is not like me saying like, oh, I hate them and I want them to lose or anything like that. It's just reality. Like the reason they're gonna lose is because they're losing all popular support because instead of solving the issues that they were elected to solve, and they actually had some good answers for. Like Doge was a good idea. They got rid of Doge. They like cutting the spending was a good idea. They didn't cut any spending. Um, they had good ideas, but ending the wars was a good idea. They haven't ended any major war that America's been involved in.
And we're
we
about to
ended.
start a new one.
Yes, exactly. And Trump, meanwhile, is changing the name of the Department of Peace to the Trump Department of Peace because he ended some war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, which really wasn't ending a war. It was just conceding everything to Azerbaijan because they have a stronger lobby, and most likely will end up causing more tensions in the future. And then the Thailand Cambodia thing, which is, I mean, that's just kind of what they do every once in a while. I mean, I think it's paused again, and it might start up again, but and then same
What
thing with India and
the
Pakistan.
One Piece pirate flags? Is that what you're talking about?
Huh?
The One Piece pirate flags?
Oh no, 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 that's a different
That's
thing.
that's a completely different thing.
That's Indonesia.
It becomes all the same to me at some
I
point.
mean, that's fair. I mean, the politics in that area is just unless you're someone like me who's like
Yeah,
you like
deep into
actually
Asian
yeah, you actually
foreign
studies
policy.
Asian foreign policy. It's very complicated. Um, but no, it it's just such a nightmare, and I just think that they're so full of themselves, and I can't believe they're so full of themselves because every sign is pointing to them having a terrible 2026 election. I mean, they're
Well,
going to
I
do
think this
terrible.
can all be fixed though if we just dress better. All right.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. If America just dressed better, I think
Put on your flat caps. We're fixing
put your
America.
ties on, tie them up.
Tie
Uh,
him up.
I really do think again. Give me a reason to dress better. Give me a country that I actually want to put on a suit in the morning because I actually am going to make a living for my family, and then maybe we can talk. But in or maybe make the planes nice enough again for cheap enough that people can actually do that or actually feel compelled to do that. But the reality is that um, nobody wants to do that when the plane either is going to crash or there's going to be somebody who's insane on the plane that's coming from like some third world shithole, and there's no other way for us to deal with it besides to let them just be insane on the plane or just so many nightmares. There's so many nightmares. Either way, it's just always a disaster. On that note, I'd like to say I think it's probably about time to wrap up, if that's good with you, Keller, unless you have any final points you want to say.
Now I'll save the well, do you want to know about a little piece of
Yeah,
local
yeah, no,
news happening?
go into it. Go into it. I'm
Something.
always open for local news.
So I saw on Twitter, Bruce Pearl spoke at some Republican thing. I think it's probably by the
Yeah, I saw the
College of
UA,
Republicans,
right? Is that UA?
UA, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a nice little quote from him saying, I'm an American first guy, but I'm not an American only guy." I just want let's hear some
What does that
thoughts on
mean,
that.
Bruce? What does that
I don't
mean,
know.
Bruce?
Isn't America first the equivalent of America only?
I think I hate more than anything in the world that the Israeli government tapped Auburn's basketball coach to be their next senator.
Well, allegedly, he has not said though whether or not he's actually going to run.
Nah, I think he is though. It seems like he's gonna run.
I don't know. We have Paul Feinbaum running. I
Paul
think he
Feinbaum. You know what? You know what I hate to say more than anything in the world.
what?
Ugh, I hate to say it more than anything in the world. Just because Bruce Pearl is such a shill for Israel.
Well,
Paul
he works
Feinbaum.
for
Paul Feinbaum might do well. I guess Paul Feinbaum. I mean, he might as well too. I don't know. They're probably both terrible options. The fact that that Alabama politics actually is a choice between Paul Feinbaum and Bruce Pearl is showing how silly American politics is getting.
or at the very least, Alabama politics.
Yeah, I mean it's nationwide though. It really is
Oh,
nationwide.
I guess it kind of
I don't know though. There is a level though with Bruce Pearl.
flows to federal because we're talking
I
about
guess the
senators.
thing about it though is that neither of these guys are going to be strong political figures. This is the kind of thing that would happen with Tupperville.
I mean, I don't know what
They're
would.
gonna get up there, right? And
Yeah.
because they're coaches, people are gonna think they're gonna be strong political figures. They're not. They don't. They've never done politics before. They don't know anything about politics. They're gonna be yes men to whoever's in control. So in reality, if there is kind of America first kind of candidate, and they're not super pro-Israel like Bruce Pearl wants, he's not going to vote against them.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
one. That's the one positive. Same thing with Feinbaum. I mean, they're not going to vote. They're not going to go against the guy. I mean, like, because it'll be too much of a political hit to them, because they know how it would look. I mean, like, especially like if like whoever the next Trump is, like the next this new kind of populist leader that we keep talking about, they're not going to be
hmm
able to go against him.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know too much about Paul Feig. I know he's like a sports commentator, and
Yeah.
that's like all I know about him.
Well, I think he has the worst takes in the world, but I mean that's besides the
Like
point.
sports wise or
He's
politics?
yeah, sports wise, he's a beat writer for Alabama. So
Well, that's already a red flag.
yeah, every single take is basically just about how good Alabama is, and he's been very fortunate to be doing this in a time where Alabama's been very good. So that's neither here nor there. His actual takes tend to be pretty bad. And this is all coming as Alabama is losing to Georgia. Let me get this score here. I think they got humiliated. I think it was a pretty terrible loss. I mean, they almost lost to Auburn, so by definition, they shouldn't be like doing anything. But they got beat pretty bad. Let me see here. Yeah, 28-7. Georgia beat Alabama 28-7. So
28-7.
28-7. They crushed them. So Georgia's your SEC champion. So I guess Paul Feinbaum probably said something good about Alabama, but who cares? Either way, both of those options are terrible. I do think Tuberville will probably make a decent enough governor, though.
We don't really have much choice.
No, we don't. But honestly, I think it'll be decent enough. It'll be funny at the very least.
That is true.
It'll be very funny. And it probably would not be hard for anybody who's an Auburn grad who's kind of political, hint hint Keller Williams, to get into that government.
Hopefully,
Yeah, it probably would not be hard.
being a part of the machine coming
Yeah,
in very
yeah,
soon.
yeah. You need to do a little bit of political work. I think I saw something. Yeah. Either way, I won't get too I won't get too personal, but um, that would be something. I think there might be some positions opening up there. But I guess on that note, I'll wrap us up. Thank you guys all for watching us again. We're going to be back next Monday at 8 p.m. as always, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. I think that's like what, 5 like 5 p.m. Pacific. I don't even know Pacific time. I don't keep track of that. If you're on the Pacific Coast, God help you. But either way, thank you all for watching. And remember, we must always continue the struggle for liberty. And till next time, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye.
We are charged.